You're going to be first up with a question though, because you're right near the mic. Yeah. Ready to go? All right. Welcome to another hashtag Ask Jim. So it's a very chilly night. I know you said this is your type of weather, but I'm absolutely freezing today in the office. So it's a very cold night here. It's the last training for winter, which has been a great group size as well. Have you been encouraged by the numbers through training in winter as well?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good. We're still growing well. We've got close to 100, more than 100 at each training session.
There we go. And I was going to say, let's get straight into it. So what we're going to do tonight, we've got our live audience here in the crowd, which are new franchisees. They're going to ask Jim a question. You can ask one online as well. And anyone who asks Jim a question on the microphone gets a prize at the end. And Jim picks his 3 favourite questions and they get the first pick of the prizes there. But anyone who asks Jim a question on the mic will get a prize. So there's a really good opportunity to get something as well. Now what we're going to do first, Jim, we're just going to get you to read out the local heroes winners for the week. We do a competition where we give services away to people in the community. So these are our winners for the week, real quickly.
Okay, winner for the week, Stephanie Price, is nominating Richard Kirby. This person Richard Kirby runs and provides a food support system in Renal, Auckland community, feeding 330 families per week. He provides this service with 100% volunteer hours and no funding or payments. To me, he's a hero.
That's our New Zealand winner, $500 worth of services to him. So well done, Richard.
$500 worth.
Yeah.
Okay. And Josh has nominated Lindy Fergus. Lindy is a single parent who's been a volunteer foster carer for more than 25 years. During that time, she's provided long-term stable care for more than 30 young people, even leaving her professional employment to allow more time for meeting their needs more than a decade ago. Now approaching her 70s, she has severe arthritis and needs assistance to maintain her home and garden. She is still providing care to 2 young girls. So how much we provide?
$2,000 for that one.
$2,000 for Lindy. Well done. It's great to be able to do this. Love the local heroes, recognising people who don't get much recognition.
It's gone berserk because I had a big influx of nominations today because the 3AW ads must have went live to air, so people are listening to them. We've got some really good applications through, so it's very hard to pick. So it's not an easy choice every week. So, but foster carers, we need a lot more foster carers in Australia, so that's why we chose that one. And the other one was a fantastic thing as well. So every week, if you know someone, go to gyms.net, you can nominate them, and then hopefully we're reading them out. All right, let's get into the questions. Cool. Who's got to just run to the mic? Just come up, guys. Yeah. Don't worry, don't wait. Just go for it. So you want to say your name and which division you're joining, and then away we go.
My full name or just my?
Oh, you can say Bruno.
My name is, looking at the camera.
Yep.
My name is Bruno, and I'm going to Jim's Mowing. So my question is, what will be a big no for you in terms of franchise? What will be the concept that you will never go for?
Fast food.
Fast food, like
We
Jim's
would
fast
never
food.
Burgers, no.
ever try to compete with somebody like McDonald's.
Okay.
Now, having said that, we are about to get into healthy food. So this is packaged food, which is really, really meeting all the health requirements, which you can't see these days. So in that sense, yes, but we'd never run a fast food restaurant because it's a very different kind of business. These companies are very good at what they do. We're good at what we do, but we're very good at services.
Okay, thank you.
Really good question.
Hi, I'm Steve Kirby, the General Manager for the Jim's Group in New Zealand. We've been around since 1994 in New Zealand. Jim's Group is a parent company
I
of
actually
brands.
admire McDonald's.
General Manager for the Jim's Group in New Zealand.
The food is utterly disgusting and I will not eat it.
Bruno, real good man. That's easy, guys. That's all you have to do is that. You'll get a prize at the end. Jump up. Go for it.
Come.
Hey Jim, my name's Mark.
And you're from Mowing, I can tell.
Yep, from Mowing.
Good kid.
Yep. Berkshire Hathaway, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, they're getting older in life, and there was always a lot of talk.
Charlie's not any older, he's dead.
I know, yeah. But there was always a lot of...
He might like to think he's older, but he is actually dead.
Yeah, he is. But there's always a lot of talk about what would happen to their group, you know, when they departed the boardroom, so to speak. What's your thoughts about where gyms will go in the future?
There will be there's a family trust set up. The current idea is to have 7 different board members, 4 of them which should be elected from amongst my 10 children and their married partners, some of whom have some very considerable business and skills and so forth. And then 2 people from Jim's group, probably 1 from staff, 1 elected by franchisees, franchisors, and 1 representing my research team. So that's the idea, and they would form a board which will then choose the executives to run the company. So that's the plan. Having said that, I am not about to snuff it. I'm 20 years younger, more than 20 years younger than Warren Buffett, and he's still going, so I see no reason to retire ever.
Great answer. Thank you.
Good answer, good question. There we go. Got a question, guys? Feel free to come up and ask Jim on the mic. I do have yours here, which we can read out, but just come up and ask Jim a question. Go on, just jump up, come ask. Yep.
There's some good stuff here. You want to get some of this?
Jim, just want to know a bit more about your story coming into Jim's Mowing younger and what's given you the drive to push so hard. Did you always have that drive, or is it something that you've built up along the way in terms of seeing, obviously, you said you were really struggling at the start, you just mowed free lawns and then sort of took off from there, and is it, did the passion come from starting so small and slowly building and just seeing to where do you want it to go basically, and obviously you keep going bigger and bigger?
The passion is one thing. I never intended to be a lawn mowing contractor or in business. I intended to be an academic. I spent my 20s at university developing a theory of history which could potentially change the world, but I couldn't get people interested in it. But the implications were all in terms of the biological sciences.
Yep.
So when I finished my PhD with no possibility of employment, I thought the only way I'm going to make this work is to start a business that will be able to fund it eventually. We'll be able to put millions of dollars a year into my research institute. So I took my part-time lawn mowing business. I was not in a good situation. I was about $30,000 in debt at the time. And I just went out mowing lawns full-time and I built it. And I had to succeed because that was my goal, that was my aim. And we're now spending something like $3 million a year on research into biology, into epigenetics and so forth, with the aim of improving human welfare.
Yeah, so $30,000 back then. How did you get that money? Because that was a lot of money back then.
No, I was in debt $30,000.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
I was just stupid.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
I made a lot of dumb mistakes. If you read my book, you'll see more mistakes in that than most people would admit to in a lifetime.
No,
I've done so many dumb things. Even some quite recent. I keep on doing stupid things. Just hopefully a bit less with time.
No, beautiful. Thanks, Jim.
No, good question, good man. Cool, Jep, come up, go for it.
Yeah, hi there. Hi, Jim. It's Warren. How are you? I'm looking at a pools franchise in Sydney.
Yeah, Warren.
Question. I'm talking about franchisors and people listening to in the training. There's a lot of unserviced leads that go through. That, like they sort of mentioned, a couple 100,000. So I just wondered what you do with those and how you manage those going forward. Because obviously you bring a lot of people on for different, franchisees and franchisors. How do you manage that? And
Well, we have a system called BIZA. What we do is we sell those leads in effect to independent contractors. Under a very strict arrangement, if they don't look after customers, they get a bad reviews and stuff, we just cut them off. So as far as we can, we give them to good independents. They're not as good as you guys, I must say. Their average rating is well below a Jim's rating, but it's still, most customers at least get better service than if we just said no to them. So that's the idea. All the money from that, all the profit from that goes towards franchisees. So, for example, we had $1,000 plus flat screen TVs made available to franchisees for $250. That was all subsidised.
The Jim's deals, yeah.
We've got the Jim's deals, all kinds of things going on. We've got an advertising campaign running now in the middle of winter, which is basically on the radio, offering the local heroes and the actual work that's being done by the franchisee. It's all paid for by the independents. So we're actually using them to the extra money that we get to boost our franchisees' welfare.
So it sort of goes back towards marketing and those sorts of things and a whole range of other things.
Yeah, or just direct giveaways.
Direct giveaways.
We're looking at things like we're looking at potentially getting a holiday resort where franchisees can stay for free or very cheap, that kind of thing. We just want to give more benefits to our franchisees. So it could be extra advertising, it could be giveaways, it could be subsidies, it could be anything.
Right.
It's about $1 million a year at the moment, and we hope to see that increase with time.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, the Jim's deals was very popular with the TVs. They were very cheap, and the headphones and all that sort of stuff.
Read
the newsletter.
We had about 150, which were gone within an hour. So always watch the newsletter, have a look for the deals. If you get it quick, jump on it fast if you really want it.
Great. Thanks.
There you go. Good question. Come up, go for
Yes,
it.
come on.
Go for it.
Myself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it. Ian roped in.
I was looking at you.
But I only just arrived.
Rope you in when you stand in the mic.
How are you, Jim?
Good.
Now, I can't remember the exact wording for nearly 40 odd years, yeah, from your first mow.
Well, I've had a gardening business in 1970, so that's a bit more than that.
That's
really.
more than that, without question, but we were told 82.
82 is when I started full time.
Yep, sure.
Before that, it was part time.
So, what's been the most instrumental point in that 40 odd year journey?
There's a simple idea when you're in business. You look at what you do every day and say, how can I do it better? You just ask that question. You never cease to say, how can we improve? How can we get better service to franchisees, to customers? How can we cut costs? How can we be more efficient?
Yep.
How can we do more good in the community? You're just constantly driven for improvement. Success is not one or two big ideas. It's thousands of little ideas.
Yeah, okay.
It's like you go to a meeting and you're talking with somebody and they say, I do this. Oh, really? Okay, I might try that. And the next time you wash a dog, it takes you 3 or 4 minutes less. And then you build on that and you build on that and you just keep on learning and doing it better. And you think, okay, I can travel better this way. And what if I did this kind of job this way? I could actually do it better. You just constantly look at what you do. And it's just amazing. You can start with a very ordinary level of income, as I did, just as a part-time gardener. You know, I used to charge $1.50 an hour when I first started. And even back in 1970, that was not a lot of money.
No.
I wouldn't say what I make per hour now, but rather more. But that's just the same process.
That's okay.
There was never any stage where it suddenly took off.
Yeah, okay. So there was no particular catalyst that led to where you are right now?
Just the ambition to keep on improving what I do. That's the one thing that's constant.
All
It's
right.
the one thing that'll work for your business too.
Sure.
You just got to constantly look at what you do in the little, small things and just keep on improving.
I've got one more question.
Go ahead.
I'm a Star Wars nerd.
Yes,
A little
well,
bit.
aren't we all?
What is that?
Might look a bit odd if you're looking from back there. He's got a t-shirt on. Don't worry, he's got a t-shirt on, but that's all right.
Anybody?
It's a target thing, yeah. When he goes down the thing to put the drop.
Josh, you're on point.
Yeah. The Death Star.
Seriously,
Yeah, when they
it's
go down there.
it's the reticle that Luke Skywalker looks
This guy got it over
through
here.
when he actually goes down to kill the Death Star.
Really? Okay. Fair enough.
No, it's a good shirt we got.
You're not as nerdy as me.
I'm not as nerdy as you, but would you like to guess my favourite character that I identify with from the Star Wars?
Darth Vader.
Close. Palpatine.
Oh, very good.
Emperor Palpatine. This
Yeah,
is,
absolutely.
And I really,
Absolutely, I like
really
that.
Identify with that guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Well, he's a bad dude, but he's a good dude.
The bad dudes are the good guys. Love the villains. Love the bad guys.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Although I have a bit of a soft spot for R2-D2.
Yeah.
I've actually built R2-D2s.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few at home that, yeah. I'll send you some photos.
Does it actually talk?
Huh?
Does yours actually talk?
No, I haven't made
Well,
any
then keep
talk.
on working on it. Come on.
Sure, I probably should get more nerdy, right.
With the way AI is improving one of these days,
True.
you can start having it whistling to you and mean something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good question on the spot. Well done. Good shirt as well. Thank you. Yeah, very good one. You going to write that one down? Cool. I'll go on online real quickly, Jim. I want to get to you real quickly, though, from Nick Berry. He's going, hi, Jim. I have been with Business Mowing for Leeds for 2 years. He says, if I continue with great ratings and service, would you offer me a franchise for free or heavily discounted? So
Yeah.
shooting your shot.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
We quite often do. If you've got somebody with a very good rating already, yes, we quite commonly would offer them. In fact, it's quite often. But you have to have a very good rating, and it's because somebody's already established in business. Yeah, it does. It's not one of our least important sources of new people too.
Yeah.
Because look, it's very hard to be in business as independent. So somebody is in business and they've succeeded to some extent, and they. And you know, they've got a good customer service record. We're actually pretty pleased to have them. What they tend to do, they tend to skyrocket in terms of profitability. Typically, they more than double their income very quickly.
We've started advertising on some independent mowing podcasts to see if we can pull a few over, because we know that a lot of independent guys listen to those podcasts, and hopefully we can get a few over as well, because they'd be really good people who have already been running it for a while. I was going to say as well, one question online real quick before we get to one more is, we always try and be transparent, so we always read out the sticklers. He says, how many Jim's Mowing franchisees fail? From Anthony Papillo online.
What I can tell you is the attrition rate for mowing is actually the attrition rate for the division as a whole is about 12%. Mowing is a bit lower than that. The first year attrition is around about 6 or 7%, I think. It's one of the lower attrition rates. But not everybody there fails. I think another way to look at it is say something like about a bit less than 9% of franchises report poor income. So from that point of view, they're not doing as well as they should. So we do have failures. We definitely do. And look, people often ask me, one of the questions I get asked is, if you had a superpower, what would it be? What superpower could you like to sort of fly like Superman or see through walls or, whatever? And I say, if I had one superpower, I would love to be able to look at somebody and know that that person wasn't going to succeed as a franchisee. If I could work out that minority of franchisees and say no to them, that would be fantastic, because it's very hurtful. The great majority do succeed, but some don't. How do you pick that? We've just instituted the system, as I think I was talking to you about yesterday morning, where we're actually asking before we actually do a document for franchise, we want a written report from the trainer, the trialer, the person who took that person out on the road, saying whether they think this person is suitable. And they don't want to accept anybody that they don't actually approve as being suitable. So we need to be more rigorous. Yes, some people fail, not a lot, but it's painful when they do, I can tell you.
We had that question from someone about your superpower, so there it was from Suthith in laundry. Now, guys, you got any more questions? Come up to the mic. Just jump up.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yep.
Hi, Jim. My name is Minh Nguyen. Hi, everybody. I got one thing to ask you. My background is always do 9 to 5 or day shift or afternoon shift or night shift until one day the COVID come and hit me out of the job. So now how can I bought a franchise. So how can I move out from my set from 9 to 5 to the business and things like that? Do I work hard, smart, or which way I can develop in the business?
Mindset shift. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, in a sense, one of the greatest things about a franchise is you can work the hours that you want. If you want to work 9 to 5, you can. If you want to work different hours and pick up your kids from school or whatever, you can do that too. But one of the things we would say is that we would like to help you to make a very good hourly rate. Now, our aim for franchisees is to be able to make, in every division it's possible to make at least $70 per hour. If you're making very good money, you don't have to work ridiculous hours. You've got time for your family, you've got time for your kids, you've got time for grandkids, you've got time for the things that matter to you. That would be our aim. I don't believe that making money alone is a worthwhile purpose in life. I think it should be far more than that.
But 9 to 5 is for myself, but when I do the business, I have to do for another people. So how can I get out from that scary, like to hire people or hire the contract or things like that?
To hire people?
Yeah, or to develop the team.
Well, you've got to start off by having enough work to get yourself busy, which will probably happen within the first few months. And then when you're busy, you start employing people, usually, first of all, by yourself.
Yes.
So you can see them and you can train them, and then others. Look, the hardest thing usually is not, it's not having enough work to grow, it's finding the right people. That is very difficult.
Exactly.
And you obviously, you're Vietnamese, I presume, is that right?
Yes.
From your name? Okay. Your best prospect is people from your own ethnic background who might not understand great English, but are usually very good workers. To give you an example, there's a lovely lady called Poppy who's a Filipina. And I know her because I run into her occasionally. She lives around this way, and she does the cleaning at my farmhouse every month. But in her first year, after her first year, she was employing 13 people.
Okay.
But the reason is because she employed people who were Filipinos.
Yes.
So it's a good thing. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, we have a lot of really good stuff.
Orlando's probably the good one with the Filipino community as well. He had 10
Yes.
employees in his first year. Yeah.
Yes.
Orlando's, we've got a
So
good
we can
few
put you on it, we can show you the videos. We did a whole day session here about how we got people who were successful at doing this, actually talking about how they did it, how they put people on, how they controlled them, everything else. So we can show you how to do that.
Okay, thank you.
And we can give you leads. So
Yep.
really keep in touch with us. We want to help you do that. It's very good from our point. We don't make any more
So I
money
will-
from fees
will.
from you, but you make a very good story.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Got a good advantage for sure. Good question there. Got any questions, guys? Feel free to come up to the mic, ask Jim anything you like. Even I've got them here. These are the sort of people who don't have asked questions, so go for it.
Hello, Jim.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Min Tran. I'm from Dog Wash Division. My question is, as we all know, like Jim has the high service fee. So how do you balance between the customer satisfaction and the financial aspect? And like, what is your top priority to have the long successful?
Well, franchisees are always the number one priority. Nothing matters more. I mean, basically, gyms is a vehicle for helping franchisees to be successful. But to do that, you've got to look after customers really, really well, which means putting a lot of pressure on franchisees who are not giving great service. Most franchisees do these days, especially. The few that don't, they can feel quite pressured. So there's no contradiction. The better we can look after customers, the more our franchisees will be successful. That's a simple idea. And we do give very good customer service, much better than we ever did in the past. And as we've done that, we've found it's easier and easier to find clients, and easier for our franchisees to make good income.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good question. If you got
Actually,
more,
just one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, do you have any future plan for franchise in short term or long term? I mean, short term is like a couple of years, and long term is like when you retire.
We're starting a whole lot of new divisions just now. We've just launched driving school, which is very exciting. We've launched health care. Is that
Healthcare, yeah.
Healthcare, which is looking after disabled people in their homes, which is nursing and so forth. That just started, hasn't it?
Just started, yeah.
Just started. So
And
those
driving
are
school's
two.
already got franchisors and stuff, yeah.
Those two are really getting off to a great start. One day we'd like to do vending machines.
Wow.
Vending machines are good, actually. We've got this, I think I was talking before about the Jim's Healthy idea, the healthy. So what we'd like to do is to actually put vending machines into all kinds of places where people, like police stations and so forth, or local councils where people don't have access to healthy food. They're frozen, you take them out, you put them in a microwave, and you've got a really tasty, healthy meal, which fills all your nutritional needs, has enough vegetables, has the right balance, very, very healthy. So that's something we'd love to do. And what we'd like to do is set up a franchise system where we find people who want to run and look after those. Because one of the problems we have in gyms is we have a lot of people who are very good at what they do in terms of business, like mowing and fencing and so forth, but then they get a bit to a certain age where it's too difficult physically for them. So we'd like to use all their relationship skills and their people skills to do something that's actually less physically demanding. But then they go and they talk to customers and they find out what they need and what's missing and so forth. Vending machines are a very good prospect business. You see the junk food and stuff and not really interested in that, but you can sell a lot of things with this. And I think healthy food is a fantastic one. So that's an exciting venture. We'll probably be about 6 months before we get it off the ground, but we're making plans now.
And you've been very strict with the recipes, haven't you, Jim?
Yes.
You've been very strict.
That's right. It's actually, the way we do it is all of our recipes have 4.5 stars minimum out of 5. You know what you get in the supermarkets?
Yeah.
Plus each 400 gram dish will have at least 225 grams of vegetables. And the reason that's 3 serves. And official government health guidelines say you have 6 serves of vegetables a day plus 2 bits of fruit, and you will meet your really good dietary requirements. We want to help all Australians to live that way. That's a new venture. That's good. I'm very invested in that. And this is basically what I try and eat myself. Mind you, not tonight. I must say, I had a few chips and stuff. It was very tempting, some of the stuff on the buffet. But
The food there is
mostly
very
I do
nice.
try and eat very well. Otherwise, I get old. I don't intend to get old. I've got a lot to do. You like eating healthy?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Got to stay slim and active and beautiful.
There you go, good question.
Good question.
Yeah, jump up, go for it. If you've got a question, guys, feel free to jump up any time as well and interrupt us.
Hey Jim, how are you doing?
Good.
Are we live right now?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
are
sick.
live.
How many people are watching?
Broadcast for all eternity.
On this one's only probably 30 or something.
Ah, hey everyone, how are you?
But the clips get big on.
So, I had a question. How did you start? I did a bit of Googling, so correct me if Google has some stats wrong. How did you start with $24 capital, or was it 24?
$24, yeah.
Yep, going to, $500 million business.
Well,
while balancing subjective views such as, faith. Sorry, I had this written down. I won't cheat. A growing family, like everyone here, and the objective, so, science, statistics and economics, while remaining modest and, compassionate without, stumbling and becoming like every other massive
Very nice
franchise.
of you to say so.
Yeah, but I do believe you are very modest and,
Well, yeah, I have a lot to be modest about, I must say. I do a lot of mistakes. I do a lot of things that are wrong. Look, I just basically, $24 was some leaflets. It was a thing called Letroset, an instant paper, and I just enough to print some leaflets and put them out, and I just started doing jobs. I had some crappy old equipment, which gave up the ghost soon afterwards. I just kept on working as an independent contractor. Then I got into busier. I got to start building up customer base, which I was very good at because I gave great curves to clients. And then I started building up and selling off lawn mowing rounds, and that gradual, and that paid off my debt and got me going a bit. And then I was faced with a competitor, and I franchised in 1990, basically in self-defense, really not expecting it to do anything like as well as it had. So it's kind of just lots of little things along the way. But in terms of balance, look, that's a good question. It really is. I've never seen faith as an obstacle. I see it's one of the core drivers of what I do. And I often find that the decisions that I made that were done because of moral reasons, because it was right, actually turned out to be a fantastic business reason. A good example of that is my decision right from the beginning of franchising that I would not take any franchisee that I had any doubts about, because I wasn't going to take somebody on to fail. Now, I'm not saying I'll do that. Obviously, we do make mistakes, but I really try. And none of the major competitors never did that, never has done it. They just take anybody who's got the money. And I thought, that's wrong, I won't do it. And I thought, because of that, I'll never actually be as successful likely as them, because I just won't take the money for the sake of it. But as it happened, what that meant is that by choosing good people and by looking after them really well, my franchisees were a lot happier than anybody else's. And that actually was the key thing that caused it to grow. I just use that as a single example. So often when you make a decision, you do something because it's the right thing to do, you look back and you say, wow, that was a great business decision, even though at the time I didn't think so. As far as family is concerned, there's a saying I love: no other success can compensate for failure in the home. I would never, ever do anything to compromise my devotion to my family, to my children. Now, having said that, I've been divorced 3 times, which actually tells you that I'm not always very good at what I do.
Sorry, I was not expecting. Sorry.
There's 3 different women can't stand to live with me, but I've been very happily married for 23 years now, so my current wife looks like she's a keeper.
Looks like.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Lee's wonderful. But yeah, look, I say the same thing to anybody. I don't think it's worth succeeding if you sacrifice your family. I think a person who, no matter how wealthy they become, if their children, if they don't have children, or if their children are no good, have got no character because they've had no attention, I think your life's a failure, in my view. And one of the greatest things that happened this year was that Dan Cole, whom I think you'll hear from tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow. He's a guy who actually came in as a guy in his early 20s, high school dropout, done fantastically well. You know, one of the things under influence from myself, I think partly decided to have another, his wife just given birth to twins. And their middle names, I've been told, are David and James, which is after me. And I couldn't be more happy about anything that's happened in the last year. To me, kids is everything. Children are our future. Children are the meaning of our lives. And even though I have great plans for what I will help humanity, I also want a better life, a better world for my children to grow up in. That's a big...
Good question.
That nails it. I have one more little question. I'm going to ask the second part afterwards, as I discussed at dinner. If I wanted to say a word in front of everyone before we began, like our lecture tomorrow, I wanted to mention one of the speakers today kind of reminded me and inspired me about a charity that I was doing it a few years back, and a recent event has kind of brought it to the front of my mind. Am I able to mention that and say when I do, because I intend on starting my cleaning franchise, am I able to, within the, fair use of, say, using like the appropriate advertisement, like am I able to run a page, use gyms, but like, because there's related merch to the, you could probably guess it's Movember, but I also wanted to invite like anyone who wanted to join to, take part in like a little group. But
if you were doing something worthwhile from a community or charitable point of view, talk to Joel.
Yes.
What we'll do is something even better than a page. We'll actually do a video and we'll promote it directly to our social media base, which is a lot of people. So we can get you a lot of, we love people who do good things. And you'll often find a lot of the videos you'll see in gyms, they're not all about people being successful. A lot of them are about people who are helping others. So anything that you're doing for the sake of the community, we'd love to promote it. We'll promote the eyes out of it.
Some people might not realise that public speaking actually terrifies me a little bit, but I
Good luck tomorrow then.
I like sitting in the crowd. I don't like sitting in front of the crowd.
It's not easy.
I prefer being behind the camera than in front of the camera, but
you'll get used to it.
Ask them tomorrow morning when you go and she'll be
tomorrow
fine.
morning.
Yeah, it should be fine with it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Good that you're doing that. Yes, anything like that you share with us, we'll promote it. So if you're doing a page for Movember for gyms, or you want to do a team or something like that, we do that all the time. Occasionally we do share. Like we don't do it all the time, but I feel like if there's a special cause for GoFundMe's, if a franchisee's had something like that, we do all that sort of stuff. So all for it.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll have a little chat with you afterwards.
Easy, no worries.
We really like to be a community of that's for more than just money. I mean, money is good. And look, one of the things we like to boast about, and we do, is that we've probably created more millionaires than any company in this country. Because that's what we do. We help people to be successful if they have that sort of drive. But at the same time, I don't think it's the main point of what we do. The thing that I'm most proud of is the way people have been able to spend time with their families and be better members of the community. Like one guy who was who mows lawns. He's in Adelaide actually. He mows lawns 3 days a week, and the rest of the time he works with the homeless because he makes good enough money to be able to do that. To me, that guy is as much a success as any millionaire. All right, I just love it, and that's why the local heroes thing is so fantastic, because these are people you'd never hear of, and yet there are so many people out there, so many amazing stories, and that is something we need to celebrate. I think we're too obsessed with money. Which is ironic because you're here listening to me because I've got a lot of money and I've made a lot of money, so you think I can be like Jim and I can learn from me, but it's not really the lesson I would want to give you, that money is the most important thing. Look, I give away, in terms of my actual income, 80% plus of my actual income goes for research and stuff and tithing and things. I don't believe, I think money is a gift from God. It's not meant to be, it's meant to be used. It's not meant to be hoarded.
Well, your new book you're working on will have a lot of this stuff in it as well, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
The title of the new book, actually, which is a sort of a rewrite and extension of the one that you've got, we're called No Other Success, which is short for that saying, no other success can compensate for failure in the home. And I'm also working on another book about the declining birth rate and the reasons, the toxic individualism and the obsession with status that's behind this. We've got very wrong values in this society, and they're getting worse. And the fact that people don't want to have children anymore, as much as they did, is a bad sign. It really is. We've got to stop. We've got to start caring about other people more.
And Dan Cahill said you were the sole reason why he made his wife have 2 more kids. So it wasn't just the influence, he said you were the reason for it. So they are middle names are David and James. So he's got 2 more kids to thank to you, and he obviously has the
Well,
income.
his wife may not like me very much because she's gone through all the pregnancy.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's a big burden, but yeah, that's wonderful. He's a great guy.
It's motivated him more to do some things. Cool. Great question, great comment as well. Anyone got more questions for Jim? Please jump up to the mic. It's real easy. Get a prize at the end. If not, I can rip through some of them here. So I'll go through some.
Yeah,
Come up, go for it.
Do you ask 2 questions?
I've got a heap on mine though.
Jim Warren, from looking at pools, but obviously lawn mowing was your, bread and butter and starting point, and I'm a bit of a lawn aficionado, I think myself. But with your guys, do any of them offer using like the premium sort of service, like Scott Bonners and those sorts of things, or they just sort of get in, get out, do the service? I mean,
premium, what's that?
Using Scott Bonners and roller mowers and those sorts of things.
Oh, cylinder mowers and stuff. Yeah.
A really premium service.
Yeah,
I've always wondered about that. Because that's what I do, but I know it's obviously a bit more of a premium service. But is there a market in all around the country for that sort of service.
Franchisees do it. So
They
in
do.
Queensland, because I shared a lot of photos to social, so I know they've got their cylinder mowers and they've got these things souped up and all that sort of stuff. WA is the same with obviously the lawns over
WA,
there.
the standard mower
It
is
is the
actually a
standard
cylinder
mower.
mower.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would there be a market for that, like something in
Yeah,
New
of course
South
there
Wales?
would.
Because I mean, obviously there's big groups of people doing it all over the country, but
Yeah.
not many people really know. But when they see it, they think, "Wow, that's fantastic." But would people pay for it?
Yep.
Like would people in Sydney and that pay for that sort of service? Is there a
The
market?
best place to be in any market is the top level, the quality, the high price level. You will find customers. It depends a bit where you are. Which part of New South Wales you're in?
Sydney. So CBD's, out of 10 k's out of the city.
Okay, so in a fairly affluent area.
Oh, well, it's all of Sydney is these days. It's ridiculous, but yeah.
You find that probably the biggest reaction is in the posher suburbs, the high price suburbs, like in Melbourne, what we call Toorak and those South Yarra, Hawthorne, those kind of areas. Camberwell, Brighton,
people.
Hampton.
Brighton people.
Where you got the highest, if you're in those kinds of areas, I'm sure you will find a very good market. People like to be house proud, they really do. If you can show something that they cannot get anywhere else, you can name your own price.
So you no problem getting that sort of money from from those sorts of customers.
Well, I encourage you. You start off with your basic customers, and you go for the premium ones.
But don't switch division because you're doing pool.
No, I'm just.
I'm not in trouble.
Oh, sorry, you're pool.
That's what my wife was. You should just go and do that because you're really good at it.
We're getting in trouble by your franchisor now. If you switch.
Yeah. But I always just wonder because I just thought, well, I mean, they're harder to use and obviously a bit more hard to get around and those sorts of
Also
things.
high maintenance too.
They are, obviously.
They are because the cylinders have to be adjusted and stuff.
They
I know
do.
I had one at one stage, which was good, but it was just so, I didn't look after it very well. So
We have to look after. Yeah, they do need to look after. But
no,
when
it's a
people
good
see
business.
them,
Look, one of the greatest opportunities in any business is to go for the premium level.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, if you can do the top level stuff, it's like if you're in mowing, there's money to be made in that. But if you get into things like gardening and pruning, landscaping, those kind of things too, your hourly rates can really go up.
They can.
Yeah, we have franchisees who specialise solely in, let's say, gutter cleaning and have the gutter cleaning trailer, or they have the gym's landscaping trailer solely, just do landscaping leads. Happens quite often, yeah.
Okay, great.
Good question. Hopefully you don't change division because
Well,
we'll
you
get in
never
trouble.
know. No.
Yeah. Come up, go for it, Bruno.
Another question, because it looks like I'm always interested in overachiever, what they do, how they schedule their day. I'm fascinated, like you've done so much already, but you keep writing books, you keep doing like speech. What is your day? What's a day from you? What looks like? Do you have a routine?
I probably don't work as hard as you think I do, actually. I have very, very good managers. This guy works a lot harder than I do. I bet he spends a lot more hours in than I do. I just work very strange hours, I'll take calls at weekends, evenings, holidays, anytime. I just don't mind because I enjoy my business. If someone's got a problem, then contact me. So, I don't know, I probably work about 40 hours a week. But, I exercise too. Like this morning, what did I do? Normally I take my son to school and pick him up again. That's about an hour and a half out of my day. But that's good because we get to talk. Mm-hmm. I get to know my 15-year-old son in a way I couldn't if I had a normal job. I exercise. I do weightlifting. I run on a treadmill. That's usually, 3/4 of an hour, a bit more, every day. Sometimes I just go for a walk. I work on my farm quite a bit. I've got this huge vegetable patch, which is much bigger than the size of this room, that I'm just digging up, ready for spring planting. I really love that kind of thing. I use a hand mower to mow the grass around the farmhouse.
Yeah, no petrol mower, you do the hand muscle.
Yeah, it's just, and I spend time with my family. Yeah. I've got quite a few kids, so like tomorrow evening I hope to go and see my daughter and her son-in-law, and they're expecting a baby in a couple of months. And hopefully another son will be there with his wife and their little kid, and they're expecting a baby about the same time. So that's just family and everything. And I go on a date with my wife reasonably often because I love my wife, and it's just nice to spend time with her. So
that's good.
That's a very good life. And I'm active in church.
Okay.
We call a life group where we actually meet. In fact, we were here last night. If anyone noticed, we're all fenced off. No entry, don't go beyond this point. Well, that's something sinister. That's just my Bible study group.
So that's the way you recharge, like with family and church group.
It's quality of work, not quantity. Yeah. I'm quite astonished at people who work incredibly hard, work really long hours, but don't think about what they do. Yep. I try and be very, very efficient. And 10 minutes of clear thinking can be better than 10 hours of slogging. Mm-hmm. You just got to figure out, okay, how can we do better? How can we improve? How can I help somebody? It's a wonderful job. I really, really love what I do. You couldn't have a better job in the world than what I've got.
That's good.
Very satisfying, very meaningful. And it's very exciting because it keeps on growing. Business is like a computer game that's, endlessly fascinating with endless levels and bosses to beat and constant challenges, and you get paid for playing it. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And no upper limit.
Yeah, that's it. No limit.
No upper limit. Whatever you want to go to.
Thank you.
We did a day in the life of Jim on YouTube. It goes for 45 minutes, and it starts from literally when he's in the dressing gown at the door with his exercise routine. So you can watch it. It's quite good, actually. I think it shows a pretty good representation. And you work in spurts, and you walk very quick. You walk extremely quick.
I do things very fast. I have a very efficient way of handling emails. So I just start with latest. When I do this, I do something with it. Bang, 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 bang. So I deal with a lot of stuff. So I just go right through it, make decisions, do this, delete complaints, answer this query, prove that, disapprove that, just go through one after the other, and then do something else and then start working on my book or something. Today I was working on a section about Orthodox Judaism and how their families work and how they're so successful in certain ways about helping the children to achieve. So that was also part of my day.
But you can watch how Jim handles complaints online. We literally got a video online, so I think it's a good one. If you get a bit angry as a franchisee, just go watch that video and see how it's dealt with. So it's a good one to watch.
It's strange the things I do. Some people think it's very odd that I actually spend time talking to franchisees, but it's really one of my most useful jobs because I hear things all the time. Why is this happening? Why is that going on there? Why is this person not succeeding? What else can we do? And we spend a lot of time talking about. We developed this whole local heroes thing. Is actually something we've developed over the past few months.
Well, I show it in training now. The Mark Beggs, the guy in Mildura, so I show that one.
That's all quite recent, actually. This is something we're doing on a big scale now, and it's a wonderful thing because it recognises great people from the community, but at the same time, it's very good for the brand. So rather than coming up and saying, "Hey, ask Jim," because Jim's is fantastic. Ask Jim's. What we say is, "Listen, Jim's group wants to recognise local heroes and we're going to give you free services." Well, it actually is promoting the brand if you think about it in the best possible way as people who care about the community, which we do. It's real. But at the same time, it's actually pretty good marketing. And what we found is when we do that, we tend to get a lot of extra leads coming through. And this is just a fairly recent idea that actually it wasn't even us that came up with it. It was that guy in Mildura, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we just went over there and just showed you the results, and that's what happened, yeah.
So one of our franchisees came up with this idea. He did some freebies in Mildura, got a really good local presence there, did a video, and then we took that idea and we're now expressing it. We're helping people all over Australia and New Zealand to actually run a better business and helping people. It all comes from one guy, one franchisee. If I didn't listen to that, then I wouldn't know about it, what he'd done. We have brilliant ideas. You've got 5,500 really entrepreneurs out there, many very, very capable, all thinking of different ways to improve, and we try and learn from them and say, okay, what's best practice? What are the most successful franchisors doing? What are they saying? What's the clean division doing that's working so well? Why is laundry growing so fast? It's a wonderful thing.
Got a couple here I just want to get through real quickly, so get these out of the way. John from Dogwash has gone, are you buying Rex Airlines?
I think airlines, if I had a list of things that I wouldn't do, airlines would go even below fast food joints.
Another one here real quickly.
It's the worst thing you can ever do, and I've fallen about the mistake, is go into something that you don't understand very well. You stay with what you know is the best thing.
And we've got another one real quickly as well. I don't know is Eamon here from Jim's Mowing? I wish he was here to ask this question. And I did check this with Emma, so HR department, don't come at me with this one. He's asked, is Emma single? So he wants to know if Emma, our trainer, is single, and she said she is. So she said she is. So this is a video she can use for her dating apps and all that sort of stuff.
She is, and she would be the greatest catch imaginable. There's any single guys out there, appropriate age and a sterling character. She's really lovely, Emma.
Might be to have the game. I don't know if Tinder does videos, but we can take that recommendation from Jim and put it on her profile. It might help her out. So, Eamon, you might have to introduce yourself tomorrow.
One thing we've discussed too is we ought to have we'd do like a calendar of eligible gyms, people, whether they're franchisees. We've got some terrific men and women out there who are just looking for the right partner. And let's face it, if you're a franchisee in Jim's, it just proves you've got an incredibly great character and you're probably earning a fortune. So perfect match for anybody who wants one.
Why don't you just do Jim's Tinder?
Jim's Tinder. Jimda, yeah? Jimda.
We have actually considered it, actually. we may do it as a way of promoting the customer app that we're developing. We wouldn't mind, but it's a difficult process, actually. It really is. That's what people do these days. I met Lee through a personal referral, actually, a rather old-fashioned way. Just someone who's working for me, recommended to do it.
Referral's still the best way.
It is
There you
good.
go, Eamon. If you see Emma in train tomorrow, ask her yourself, and she said that was okay. So HR, don't get me in trouble. Cool. Got any more questions, guys? Feel free to come up to the mic and ask Jim. Go for it. Go for it. Come up. Yep.
You're doing very well for a relatively small group, I must
Yeah.
say. Well done.
No, they're good questions.
Hi Jim, my name is Mizan. I'm from Sydney.
Don't apologise. Some people can't help where they're born, or where they live.
Okay, so
It's all right.
He's trying to make a joke. It's all right.
hard work or luck? Which one you believe?
Sorry?
Hard work
Hard work.
or luck?
Hard work or luck? Which one do you
Which
say?
one?
I
believe?
think luck has very little to do with it, honestly. Hard work is important. Clear thinking is important too. It's not about just working hard. You've got to work hard, but the key is to be self-critical. Some of the most biggest failure people who work incredibly hard, but they don't think about what they do, and they keep making the same mistake. So I wouldn't say, you've got to work, yes, but I wouldn't say I'm an incredible workaholic. I mean, I have a reputation for it, but it's not really true. I love what I do and I work efficiently. I don't work incredibly hard, but I'm very, very self-critical, always looking to improve. So work hard, yes, put your effort into it, but think about what you're doing. And come along to meetings and read all these wonderful videos that we do and talk to other franchisees and talk to your franchisor and get opinions. Talk to me if you like. Talk to anybody to get ideas about how you can improve. That's actually the best thing. Work reasonably hard, but then get lots and lots of help and advice. Because I tell you one thing, before I was franchised, I had no peer group. And I really missed that. I didn't have anybody to learn from. And you have some people to learn from. You have great people across the company. You've got people, you could contact Joel if you like and say, I've got a problem with social media. I want your help. Joel will answer. Believe me, you will, won't you?
I do. I have to, yes.
You will?
No, I do. I I send videos and everything. Even to Jim, I send a video to do something. I'll do that. I do it for franchisees all the time.
Yeah, so use the resources around you. So work hard, but use the resources. And you know, you might not want to become rich. Maybe that's part of your aim. But you just want to make a decent living. But then if you can make a decent living and you can work less hours, so you've got more time for other things that matter to you, that's a great outcome. But not luck. I don't believe in luck. The people who fail tend to be ones who blame what goes on around them. They'll blame the economy, they'll blame their clients, they'll blame their franchisor, they'll blame the system, they'll blame me, they'll blame everybody except look at themselves and say, okay, what do I need to do? And the best people will always say, okay, yeah, sure, things aren't going exactly the way they should be everywhere else, but what can I do? That's the attitude. But work hard too.
Okay, thank you. So, if you not success this industry, what you will do next?
If I'm not a success in the industry,
Yeah, this industry.
isn't
Whatever
that a
you
bit
lost
late to
now.
start asking me that? We have got one or two franchisees here. If you look around the room, we're not doing too bad.
If
Do you mean in Jim's cleaning or what?
You
what
told
do
me
you
if,
mean?
if you are not successful,
yeah,
well, it's a question of why, okay?
yeah.
If you're not successful because you're giving poor customer service and you're not following the system and you're not listening to what you've been told, then you better go back and get a job where somebody tells you what to do and work 9 to 5. Seriously. But why otherwise wouldn't you be successful? The only reason I could think of is that you have some sort of a medical reason, which means you can't actually do the same kind of physical work. That's not an uncommon problem, especially people who've been around for a while. You know, we've had franchisees around for decades sometimes, and they get to a stage where it's, and then you could try to look for something else to do, some other kind of business. But if you're good at what you do, there's no reason why you should fail. The great majority of franchisees succeed. They make good or at least satisfactory income. And most people who leave actually leave because they've retired or they've got off another job or they just want to change their pace, not because they've failed. So why wouldn't you succeed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, good question. Stephen, do you have a question in the back there, or you want to jump up? You've been getting the nudge to get up, so. Yeah.
It's just more on a personal note, Jim. We know that you're quite fit and you exercise a lot, and a lot of people don't know that you and Joel have a regular game of racquetball.
We used to, haven't for a while, but we used to.
Hasn't been for a while. He's getting too good. He just beats.
No.
That was the question. Joel was a bit cagey. He really wouldn't say who usually wins.
No, he's better than me.
No, that's not.
He's better than me.
No, Jim was flogging me for a long time.
No rubbish.
No.
I don't blame him. He's actually not as fit as he should be, but he's got.
That's true.
He's got very fast reflexes. Very hard to when you're in your 70s to play a guy in their.
He did all right. I was nearly half your age. He was all right.
I got a few.
No, Jim was go right.
I get a few games off you. Yeah.
No, that was the only
We'll
question.
probably start up again in spring, but Jim's a good player.
Oh, just the other question is, when Joel hit you in the head with the racquetball,
I was very scared.
do you think it was deliberate?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
But you know what, Steve? Jim's hit me more than I hit him. I have bruises on my backside, and my arm, and Missy's like, "Who gave you that?" I'm like, Jim.
That is actually true. I do tend to batter my opponents, but more than they batter me. That's for sure. I'm very good at hitting somebody with a racquetball. They're quite heavy, those things.
They do. They leave a mark. They do leave a mark.
Thank you.
It's not easy to explain to the missus when you get a bruise on you like that. No, good question. I was going to say, didn't expect that one. That's a nice one. There we go. Could we get any more questions, guys? Feel free to come up. Anyone get some more? Yep,
yes.
Go for it.
Hi, James. This is my second time coming here, and I really like and enjoying the training and the group. And
the food, that's good too.
I was thinking about to start some new division, so maybe we can talk some bit later for the details. And I want to ask, what's the supporting system for the new division startup?
Okay. First of all, we get a lot of people approach about new divisions. Mostly just email me, and I always respond. We look for a division that doesn't conflict with anything we currently do. That's very important because of territory rights. You can't do that. Yeah. We look for something that's got a reasonable scale. We need, because the gym system is the fees aren't enormous, put it that way, so you need numbers to make it worthwhile. And you need something that we can make at least $70 an hour for an average operator. Those are the kinds of things. So we look for that kind of service. And what we then need is somebody who's got the right business acumen to lead it. Because the biggest reason why people's visions fail or succeed is because of the person driving them. So, for example, if you're interested in running a new division, the first thing I'd look at is your rating. I'd say, what's your customer service rating? So I need to see a good rating. And then I want to say, what are you turning over per week? How much money are you making? I want to see something very good. I'd like to see you turning over, $4,000 or $5,000 a week, something respectable, a decent living. And then we look at your abilities in general. And you don't even have to know the division itself that well. You just need to be able to learn about it. But it's more about character than anything else. I mean, like when Bill Cobanoglu started the laundry division. That was just over 3 years ago. It's got like 140 franchisees now. Now, Bill didn't know anything about laundry, but he's a great franchisor. He's a great guy. He's just a really decent human being. Yep. Now, as for the support, it's a fairly simple system. We don't ask much up front. It's actually very similar to a franchise cost, and mostly just for the fees up front. We just rent the division. We set a target that you need to achieve 30 franchises within 3 years. If you do that, which most of them are doing, it's given to you. We have a monthly meeting which you need to attend, which is by Zoom. And every 6 months we have a one-day conference where the divisionals get together, including the very experienced ones like Bill, all get together and just share ideas. And then, of course, if you've got individual questions, you can just ask anybody in the office. So that's the structure.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
so
good.
if you've got something in mind, come to us, but probably you'll be more likely once you've actually got a few success under your belt as a franchisee?
Yeah, I do have something in mind, so that's why I want to discuss with you a bit more after the interview.
Yeah, don't say it live there, you don't say it on there.
Yeah, come up afterwards. Anybody wants to talk to me afterwards, very welcome to chat to you.
Okay,
That's a
thank
good one
you.
as well. Cool. We've got one in line, Jim, which I think is a really good one from David, who always tunes in. David McDonald's been for years with Jim's. He says, Jim, one thing I ask myself every month is why should I stay with Jim's? Why should I stay rather than leave and go independent? So David's been with us for many years.
David's asking me that.
Yeah, he's asking you that question. He apparently asks himself that question every month.
It's interesting, actually. You know, when I started this, I thought one of the reasons that I didn't think franchising would work back in the 80s when I was considering it, was that I thought, why would a person stay with a company once they already had as many customers as they want? And it's actually, I don't believe in holding people just by contract. We actually make it very easy to walk away. At the most, pay a few $1,000s just to waive restraint of trade. And sometimes we don't even charge that. I think the reason mostly people tell me, and it's people who with us who haven't taken work for years, they like the brand. The brand means they can charge higher prices than they could otherwise. They like the support. They like the community. They like the franchisor support. They like being able to call on people like Joel or anybody else at head office at any time. And they just identify with us. They're part of a culture. Jim's has a very strong culture. And I'm sure you'll find that when you get out there. There's common attitudes that we help each other, we look after each other. That sense of community is very, very powerful. So, yeah, I mean, some people do leave, but most people actually stay with us even after they stop taking leads and they're full up. We encourage them to do more. We say, why don't you put up and do a split or put on workers? But that's up to them. Sometimes they just say, we just love the brand, we want to stay.
David's very successful, he does a great job. I don't know if he takes leads if he's on referrals, but I've interviewed a franchisee the other day called Peter up in Jim's Building Inspections. He was the first franchisee in New South Wales. He's been with us for 13 years, hasn't taken leads for 12 years as a building inspector, yet he's still with us. So.
Yeah, it is too. You develop a sort of sense of pride in what you do, don't you? You know, it's part of your identity. Like, Jim's, we're special, we're different, we're a community, we care for each other. It was wonderful, the things that happened. I mean, as I said on Monday morning, the lockdown was awful. It really was in Victoria, but it was so heartwarming. The stories that I heard about franchises looking after each other. You know, franchisors, they didn't receive any fees for 2 months, not anything. But they actually worked harder during their 2 months than they ever had before or since, talking to their people, reassuring them, just being there for them, even though there was no fees being paid. That's really typical of Jim's people. It really is. And I'm incredibly proud of that. I'm more proud of that than I am about the numbers that we have, even though they're good.
There's a lot of comments online, so if you've got those questions online, if you're a franchisee, send them to Jim as well. We'll get to them. David's gone, can you franchisee sponsor a car racing team? So if a franchisee's got enough money himself to do it, I guess he can. 131546, he could if you wanted to. Check with your franchisor is always the question.
Absolutely, we don't mind that.
Absolutely. Go for it. Cool. Now, Jim, what were your 3 favourite questions for the first pick of the prize? Anyone who asked Jim a question will get a prize as well, so you just get what's remaining over there.
I like who were talking about faith, obviously. That was a great question, talking about purpose and faith. Yeah, that was yours.
First one. So you get the first pick. Which one would you like?
I'll say Monopoly.
Monopoly. Perfect. Good man. Smart choice.
Very good version. You'll never play the old-fashioned version.
Jim wrote the rules on that one as well, so Jim actually wrote that.
I didn't write the rules. I designed the board.
No, you did the cards as well, the community cards.
Yeah, all the
They're
cards.
yours.
Yeah, I did all that. I like the one about Star Wars. Who said that?
Gentleman at the back.
The nerd.
The guy looked like he was flashing you if you came from the backside. What would you like here?
I didn't mean to flash.
No, if you look from there, it would have been interesting.
Just for the sake of the fact you can't see him, he did not flash in any sense.
I'm sorry for getting your name.
No, I'm Joel. That's all right, Jackson.
No,
Good, mate.
I'm going to take a goat t-shirt because that's just gold.
Perfect. Good choice.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the last one there, Jim?
I like the question about who was talking about growing their business. Who was saying that? One of the ladies here. Yeah. Oh, it's only
Min.
you. It was you. Sorry.
Right, come over, pick what you like, and if you ask the question, come and see
Building,
me.
putting on workers and so forth.
Ah,
That
yeah, there
was
we go,
good.
Min. Go for it. Which one would you like?
Okay, I want a game, but okay, can I get a beer?
You can get a beer. You can take a whole bunch of them. There you go. Good man. Cool. Cool. All right. 1 second, guys. We'll just close it, and then we'll do it. 1 sec. Sorry. That's all right. That's all right. I'll take it. Cool. So thank you very much for your time tonight, Jim. Thank you everyone as well in the audience to come along. We appreciate it as well.
Appreciate the questions.
We do this every 3 weeks, and as you heard, franchisees do jump online and feel comfortable asking questions as well, which you can do as well. You can also contact Jim, and the replay will be on our YouTube channel, podcast, all that sort of thing as well. If you did ask a question of Jim, please come over here and get a prize. Also, now's a good time to get a photo of Jim. We have a light here, and it's a bit more relaxed because Wednesday will be crazy. So make sure if you want a photo of Jim, get it now, have a chat, all that sort of stuff. But thank you very much for your attention. We appreciate it. And fist bumps as well. Yes, no handshakes. French.